What was Biggie's reaction when Tupac passed away?
Oh, he actually was really upset that Pac, passed away. I mean, it was a shock, but he was genuinely upset, just like you would lose a friend. Even though they was beefing and, stuff had gotten really out of control as far as what people were saying and all that, he genuinely was hurt, when Pac died. I think it was a shock to everybody. But yeah, he it wasn't like he was like, yes, my nemesis is dead. It wasn't it wasn't anything like that at all. He was genuinely upset.
You said before that Biggie was listening to Tupac Makaveli album after he died.
Yeah, Big definitely was listening to I think the Hail Mary record was his favorite record. I can't remember the whole like Makaveli album, but he definitely was listening to the music. And, like I said, Big didn't take his personal feelings on a person out on their music. Like, good music is just good music to him. Like, he was a true, fan of good music. And, Pac definitely has some good music. So, Big definitely was listening to it.
Brooklyn Finest. Mm-hmm. Biggie taking a shot at Tupac and Faith on that song.
That's just Big being Big. That's just Big being lyrical and Big being Big. Like, people that don't know Big personally and know how his personality is, like, that's just really like, he wasn't even really taking a shot. He was just, his personality was like that. And it's hard for me to explain what his personality was like unless you actually knew him, but that's just some slick shit he would say. And, at the end of the day, it was a hot line because it fucks people's ears up. You still got to remember, this is a nigga that came out and said, look, black, ugly as ever. You know what I mean? That shit that nobody had ever heard before. Like, yo, did this nigga just say he was black, ugly as ever? But however, I stay coochie down to the socks. Those type of lyrics weren't happening around that time. People weren't rapping like that. So the type of shit, like the type of wit that Big had and just his personality in general, like people weren't used to that. So, that reference, I see what you're saying, people think it's a shot, but really it's just Big's personality. Like, Big was a silly dude. Like, he was just a witty, silly dude.
Long Kiss Goodnight. Mm-hmm. Was that about Tupac?
Long Kiss Goodnight?
Yeah.
The RZA record?
Yeah.
No, actually, Long Kiss Goodnight was a record that he did as kind of like a homage for me because I was such a huge Wu-Tang fan.
Right.
Like, I was like a Wu-Tang fanatic, and I begged him, please, 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 please do a record with somebody else from the Wu besides Method Man. And he hit me. I remember he called me one day and played me the beat and was like, guess whose beat that is? And I was like, who? And he was like, RZA. And then you have to also remember that my name came from that movie, The Long Kiss Goodnight. So it kind of was just kind of something for me. But people take stuff out of Big's rhymes and apply it to all kinds of stuff and say, oh, he dissed this person, that person, da, 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 da. I'm not saying Big didn't do that. At that point, when he wrote that record, I'm pretty sure Pac was already deceased. And
exactly. It was like a song he made when Tupac died and he was taking shots at him.
Nah. Big, first of all, Big wouldn't do that. That's just not like his personality. He's not going to take shots at the dead man. He probably had little stuff in there where people could take it and say whatever. And I'm keeping it a buck. I see your face like, yeah, all right. But I'm not going to lie. Like, that's just, he wouldn't do that. Yeah, of course, there's little stuff in there. I know what you talk about. That stuff when you said something. I ain't mad at you. I know what you're saying. But nah, it wasn't a diss record. You know what I mean? Like, you don't make a diss record after somebody that passed away. That's kind of whack. You know what I mean? Like, that's not cool. So really, like, for real, like, that record was kind of like for me because he knew how much I loved the Wu and he knew how much I wanted him to, like, work with them more. And when I remember him calling me and playing me that beat, I was like, yes. So, nah, that's not a Tupac diss record. Then you're actually the first person that's ever asked me that, or that's actually the first time I've ever heard that.